All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Vinland Saga, Season 2, Episode 5. Our brothers have clasped arms and they're like, okay.
And clasped necks, you know?
Well, yeah, you know, it's all part of the process to get to the point where they can be like, yeah, I got you. I got your back.
Yeah. And we want that brotherhood to be strong, but right now, they're both very different men, and they need to be able to see each other as they are.
Right.
Thorfinn is very grateful for Einar waking him up, though.
That's right.
I'm really excited to see where Thorfinn being awake, what that looks like, with the general conflict being not one of violence,
like action and violence and all that.
Defeat every, who can kill somebody or who or not, but what kind of person he's going to be while serving.
Right, exactly. How does that change his outlook on life and maybe the dynamic that they have within the farm and how they interact with the other people? But we also had a certain somebody show up last episode. A certain somebody that is rather princely, and grown and glowed the fuck up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not freaking out.
Nope. That's fine.
I'm very restrained. I'm a very balanced individual.
No connecting here. Yeah. Yep. Not at all. Let's go.
Yep. Path of blood. There will be blood. Okay. King Harold call for reinforcements. Whoa. Yeah, he's thinking back. I was going to say, that's Askeladd's voice.
This music.
Custus. I think I've seen this scene now like 15 times. God, it's peak. Oh, that's new. That was new. That theme coming in.
一時はデンマーク勢力に覇権を奪われたイングランドであったが、1014年、デンマーク王スベンの死によって情勢は大きく変動する。スベンの死を受け、亡命先のノルマンディから舞い戻り、福井を果たしたエセルレッド2世。
Okay.
両友それぞれがイングランド王を名乗り。
Assassins, yeah. God, look at that. That's just. Oh my God, he's still around. Shit.
Right. Oh, fuck.
この地を制圧した我が軍の先遣隊です。
そうではない。何をしているのかと聞いているのだ。
そりゃあ略奪でしょう。
あの者たちの首をはねて道にさらせ。
しかし、戦利品の収集は戦の慣例です。おい、マジか。
Passing it down the chain, yeah. Hey.
Hey, buddy. Okay.
Need to pick up somebody.
I've missed you.
You friggin' little.
And I really hate frogs.
ご苦労だったな、トルケル。
やかましいわ。
戦局を大きく見よ
Yeah.
どうか東部鎮定にお力をお貸しくださいませ。トルケル殿の圧倒的などこで誰とやるかは俺らの決めだよ、この野郎。おめえはまだ何者でもねえ。
Nice.
イングランド王でさえね。
We've had a time skip, and we're still having that acknowledgement of Canute's
Right.
development.
どうした
The
おめえは戦を避けられねえ。
mm,
おめえの道は血と鉄で切り開くしかねえんだ。
roll credits.
アシェラットがそうしたようにな。
Do things have to always be done the same way?
陛下、これはいくらなんでもお見過ごしになってはなりませんぞ。
なぜだ1
Person's character and their usefulness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
行くぞ
Yep. Yep. Not
Okay.
all are blessed like Thorkill to live
Nope.
like that. Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, they really want a truce. Yeah.
我がマーシアより軍を引き上げてくれるならば、さらに4000坪しよ
Oh.
う。ないはずだ、クヌートと。
Oh. Are those prayer beads?
安いな
Okay.
己の申していることをよく考えてみよう。そなたはこのイングランドのブレトワルダであるクヌートに金を持って治療から出て
That's
世は
fair.
そなたの王である。世は世の領内の反乱を鎮めるためこの地へ来たのだ。無心のためではない。で、この手打ちはエセルレットの許可があってのことなのか。
現状を知れば、王陛下もきっとご理解くださる。
ほう。
Yeah. So, do you have any loyalties?
Right.
Yeah.
お人の悪い。
Ah, they're backing up Canute now. I like this.
光から世が乱れる。
There can only be one.
死なねばならぬ。
裏切れというのか、この私。
すでに裏切っている。
Yep. By making this offer.
長年重臣としてあやつに仕えてきたそなたなら良い方法を知っていよう。
Whoa.
Yeah.
その代わりマーシアは奪わぬ。
Wow.
レッドの首が代価だ。
Okay.
な買い物であろ
He's throwing his words back at him.
う。フローキ。この陣は昇進ではないようだぞ。なかなかの気骨だ。でよ、エアドリック。
Character and their usefulness again.
Yep.
Which means we now know a little bit of your character. So
Right.
you are actually useful.
Maybe.
A little bit.
If we can get you to bend the knee.
Whoa. That's what... I want to make a couple jokes, but... Gondor's not calling for aid, so...
Yeah.
Oh, that is a shot.
想像するがいい、エアドリック。たった今、マーシアは灰に帰した。
Whoa. I'm giving you a vision.
Yeah.
Do you see it?
わかったか。
Yeah, I'm not signaling anything.
貴様らを焼き尽くすことなど造作もないのだ。エセルレッドの首を差し出して安寧を変え、それが利口だ。
Holy shit.
Because if you don't.
I'd prefer not to walk the path of blood.
Yeah.
This is how
but
easy
I can,
it would be,
and I will.
be for me to do it.
この翌年の1016年
Wow.
イングランド王エセルレッド2世が死去する
Poisoned.
Finally got him.
Yep.
病没とされている
It is said. Damn.
エドモンドはエセルレッドの後を継ぎクヌート軍を大いに苦しめ前線するも7ヶ月後の同年11月やはり
Wow. When you have a snake in the in the midst there, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and he's pouting because he's like, war being called off because of assassinations and shit.
Damn. Last time we had one of these, there was a regicide.
すべ
Yep.
エセ
Just a quick succession of kings.
Yep.
1018年
Here we go.
正式にイングランド王となる
Fuck. Shit.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god. All right,
Okay.
we got ourselves a Canute-focused episode. This was a very fun way to shift things from the Thorfinn Einar side of things, and yet it's an entire episode dedicated to Canute. I'm a very history book style, narrator exposition to account
Yes.
for the mini time skips, but also, damn, a very, very compact, centralized theme as well for the episode that could be taken for the stuff that's been going on in the show thus far. But the idea of the person's character versus their usefulness,
Right. Yes, yeah.
not something that you could extrapolate out to what's going on with Thorfinn. But in this episode, it's handled really well. There's a lot of cool little intricacies that you can apply to the men in this story.
Yes, and I gotta say, from the like big picture side of things, I really like where this episode is placed because the stuff with Thorfinn has been really good. Yes, seeing him on the farm and seeing how he's changing and wrestling with all these things,
Right.
Great. But this show was also that show where we had a lot of Vikings doing fighting and things like that. So showcasing that the show
The
has
world continues on.
the world continues on. Thorfinn might not be a part of that world anymore,
Right.
but that stuff is still happening. If that is what brought you to the show in the first place, that is still going to be there. It just might not be given the same level of focus as it was before.
And it
right?
might also be framed a little bit differently. One of the things that was really fascinating about Canute in season 1 is his faith and his religion.
Yeah.
And the way in which he saw violence and killing and humans. And now we see that there's this character of his that is vicious in that he sees men stepping out of line, behead them, put their heads on spikes, display them for the rest to see.
Yep.
Oh, what were they doing? They were, raping, pillaging, and
Right, doing all the usual
marauding
stuff
and
that
doing all
warriors
that
would
stuff
do,
there.
but that he had specifically said, no, we are not doing that.
which I think is fun because it's framing again the whole concept of the warrior in a negative light. But then we as Canute see that, oh, in some ways he's just a stronger warrior.
Right.
He's still doing the same kind of thing, but he's just punishing it through this specific lens because of his beliefs.
Put another way, even though this is not what Thor's meant, a true warrior doesn't need a sword. Canute never used a sword this whole episode.
No.
Right?
No.
In fact, when he was writing, there was a part of me that when I looked at like his scabbard, it almost looked like there wasn't a sword in the scabbard.
Oh, sure.
Probably just the way it was drawn and, didn't quite catch it or whatever. But here, just
He
with
used
a
his
word.
words, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
His words and his commands and the fact that others follow him. And the reason why they follow him is shown very aptly here in that his character is unique and it is immovable. It
Right.
is
He is a force of nature.
yeah, he's a force of nature and he is incapable of having his character be shifted by the actions of others.
Right.
We saw a very cool example of this with Thorkel. Thorkel shows up, shows all kinds of disrespect and dishonor,
Yep.
shouting insults at him,
Yep.
just absolutely frothing at the mouth, a raging berserker. And, casually, Canute just sits there, listens to it, takes it in, gives him very little, emotional reaction to it.
Right.
Just kind of takes it in stride. Floki just kind of sets him up and is like, hey, well, we'll need you in the East in a little bit. There have been some stuff going on. He's like, shut the fuck up, Floki!
Yeah.
I'm talking to you! Talking to him!
Yep.
And, yeah, Canute's not bothered by it. I mean,
Nope.
a lot of ways, Canute already had a raging monster that he dealt with in his own awakening back in season 1, and it was easy. So I love that Canute's usefulness and his character are put on display here for the reason why everybody is
Right.
following him.
Yep.
And they're at their peak. But that can change based on perspective as we see Thorkel at the end of the episode then having this fuck up about Canute.
Right.
I don't want to hear about him. I don't want to. He has changed his view on how useful Canute is to him specifically.
Well, and yet that frustration is not the frustration of, all right, fuck this guy. I guess I'm gonna fight him.
No,
it's the
frustration.
It's the frustration of I'm still gonna do what he says, but damn it, I don't like it. Right?
I don't like it, and I'm going to be looking for a way to get out of it probably pretty soon. And what I like about this is that Thorkel has his own journey still going on, showing that he's been watching Canute to see what kind of person he is. Canute's becoming a man, became a man, and now is a king. Well, that's going to be a whole thing right there. But Thorkel just being in the story still, eventually probably going to bump into Thorfinn again at some point.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be some ways down the line, but we now have set a nice little thing in motion as to how Canute and Thorkel can split, which is fun because Thorkel basically just ends up usually on the side that's winning, and when he switches sides, that side starts to win. That's just Thorkel is basically a gigantic luck clover. He
just wrecking ball of
whichever side he's on, they tend to do pretty well.
to make the Berserk comparison, right? Our Griffith is right now just being able to say, yes, Guts, go over there. I win. Haha.
But a tactical genius.
Right, but what happens if suddenly Guts is like, nah, I got other interests in mind.
And yet because of Canute's character, who he is, I don't think Thorkel's going to be doing anything anytime soon. This is so much of a
Canute is
winning
compelling
side here. Yeah.
Right?
It's incredibly compelling and persuasive. And shifting to Canute here, his little moments talking with
the brother or cousin of Ragnar.
Ragnar's brother. Yeah, exactly. I believe.
Did we actually not get his name written down?
We might not have. Yeah.
Okay.
But his kind of moments just to kind of react to what Canute's doing was a fun way to kind of be reminded that some characters have stayed the same, like Floki, and him, whereas Canute has continued to grow, and in that respect, that's probably what makes him one that they're all still following and stuff. Is he's not a static character; he continues to grow and showcase his own.
And not just that he isn't static, but that the perspective that he brings to the table is something that seems like foolishness to them, right? Not taking the 8,000 pounds of silver,
Right.
Why did you stop and call for a truce, right? When we were beating them, right? Why wouldn't you let me actually take the leader's head, And yet, because they know they wouldn't be able to actually, come up with the kind of plans and ideas and stuff that he has and that have been working well so far, they keep going. You take Askeladd's whole situation, but then basically just scale it up by a factor of, 100 or 1,000, right? And here you go.
Canute has learned from the men in his life, from the fathers in his life, in the same way that Thorfinn was, he tried to. and this is
Right.
what's possible. This is you may not like it, but this is what peak male performance looks like.
Are you talking about Thorkel or Canute?
Well, Canute. Basically, you learn from the men in your life.
Sure.
You model the things about them that were great, and you don't model the things that weren't of good character or not useful to you.
But one of the other things that's kind of interesting here is that we had a time skip in this episode, right? And now we get the Canute from the OP with the beard and all of that stuff, and he's actually King of England. Cool. But earlier, Canute was referred to as Prince Canute, right? So
yes, by someone not even in England.
Yeah,
so
it could totally be old info. But
Yeah.
this could be setting up that in the next episode we might be having had another time skip, which would make sense given that Thorfinn just had his awakening in the previous episode.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see what that is.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling that this could end up being something then where we'll get to see how Thorfinn was able to put himself back together as a result of what happened. But then what happens
Either
now?
we're catching up to the time skip or we're thrown into a time skip. Yeah,
exactly.
Either one will happen next episode, and that'll be fun. Because Thorfinn having this arc that he's going on where, for the most part, he's not even really that far into it. It's that he's gone through and abandoned so much that it's what are the things that are from the past that are still clinging on to him that he has to let go of? Like, is he capable of being truly free?
Sure.
There's a myriad of things we can get into in that when the show goes back to his side of the story here.
Right.
But I really wanted to focus in on this thing of the idea of a person's character and usefulness being different, because Canute, as far as character goes, depending on your perspective, he is either a force of nature, a God, blessed by God given form man among men, or he is a vicious, conniving, just do whatever it takes.
There's kind of not really any point debating Canute's character, because then that's something where it gets into like, okay, what are his morals or whatever. But waging war, that'll be its own thing. But wouldn't it be better to then talk about essentially his effectiveness then?
I think you're not letting me cook here. The point that I'm trying to say is that that's a way that his character can be viewed differently depending who you are. But that's the point about the usefulness angle. Usefulness is not objective.
Right.
That is something that is changed based on who you're looking at here. And what I'm saying here is that character is also then something that is different depending on your perspective, but depending on who you are.
Right.
Meaning then that the people in Canute's circle here see him differently, not just from a usefulness perspective, but also from a character perspective. So if you take that concept and you apply it out to what's going on with Thorfinn and Einar here, we can then get into, Thorfinn's character deciding to basically not fight back as they're beating him and stuff, as Master Kettle sees his usefulness versus his character. I would love to see the show go into framing that those two aspects there with Thorfinn as he's going through this process while being a slave, to a compatriot to Einar, and probably eventually a brother beyond blood, and then also a warrior, and that's something that I would very much love to see, because I feel like this episode just perfectly set it up and was just like, here, it works independently just fine in this episode's mini story here.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating to think about in that I would say from a perspective of those two angles there, character is objective. Character is something that is closer to an immutable thing, but usefulness is not. It's far more subjective.
Okay, I would actually say the opposite.
Okay, yeah.
So the usefulness, it's objective, but it will vary from person to person, right? It's not like just because. So someone's usefulness to you is not going to be their usefulness to someone else, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
that's something that can be weighed and measured, right? You can be like, they can do these specific concrete things for me and things like that, right?
Right.
Whereas with regards to their character, it's like, okay, well, are they a monster? Are they not? Are they, a coward? Are they not? You can try and suss those things out, but
It's harder to measure, I agree, but it is something that you're much more easily able to see what Canute is absolutely not willing to do under any circumstances, and where his goals are kind of befits his character.
sure.
Like here, we saw
He's not going to take money when he sees there as being well, but then doesn't that not? I mean, I feel like to say that that's a thing of character as opposed to a thing of usefulness is like.
Well, again, I didn't draw that connection to the money thing. That was.
Well, okay. I mean, what would be an example of the thing that you would say was demonstrated for the thing to be that he would not do under any circumstances?
That was what he wouldn't tolerate. For instance, was the soldiers pillaging and
No,
marauding
right.
and
But
stuff.
I would say that that's not because he has a problem with the fact that they're pillaging. It's the fact that he gave them an order to not pillage and they wouldn't, right?
Right.
So it's that he has no patience for people that are not useful to him. He has a thing that he needs them to do and they don't do it. They're not useful. I cut their heads off and display them
And
to make sure that everyone else stays useful.
Yeah. And I would say that consistency and that almost dogged, like no exceptions aspect of it is something that is contrasted by the idea that when the guy's like, I will then give you the 8,000 pounds there, he's like, oh, you think you're not betraying Aethelred here? So you're an exception, basically?
Right.
You think that he won't see this as some kind... Wow, interesting. And even Floki's like, yeah, I'd be surprised if he did that. So he framed it as any one of high character, meaning like anyone of my position, like me or like the other
Essentially
king.
being unwilling to compromise.
Yeah, be unwilling to compromise. And I think that is a character thing. I think that is entirely uncompromising is an aspect of someone's character. And that's something that in some ways Canute respects a lot about Thorkill coming in and being so uncompromising and so so steadfastly dogged and almost dumbass focused in his character that he would never drop and even thought of hesitation of bringing this up to Canute just because Canute is extra powerful or has an army behind him or regardless of his usefulness, he would bring it up. He would bring it up immediately. Because you could exchange usefulness for like ability that's it's brought up there. So
but I mean in the same fashion, Canute actually proved that Thorkill does have a limit to his character because he wants war, and he's not getting it, and he's realized that Canute will not give him what he wants.
Right.
But he's still kind of going along with it for now, hence him pouting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He
won't go along with it forever.
But he's going along with it for now.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Which is what Canute wants.
Right.
Stay useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just love to see that theme, those two things brought forth into the farm slavery side of things there, because it is something that I think could be very quickly brought up with the introduction of Snake, for instance.
Sure.
But also just the idea of the son who's useless and also is wavering in the
right. He's figuring out who he is.
Character department, but could solidify that if he goes through.
Right. Well, because the big question in the air
transformation.
is like, okay, we know that at some point Thorfinn is going to get back into the action side of the narrative, right? But not
it's gonna
now.
be sometime,
It's going to be some time. But what is going to be the thing that forces that to happen? The more this goes on, the more I think it's not going to be just some, the farm
Force
gets
thing,
attacked or whatever, right?
right.
It's going to be a conscious decision, a conscious
going
action.
he's going to leave of his own accord.
Right, and yet the thing that happened in the
some way,
previous episode was essentially him being able to be set free from the horrors of the stuff that he did in war. So that's more him able to being able to fully put it behind him.
Yeah, like
not
that,
at all
that process
the
has
reason
started
of
for
why
him
he
at the
would
very
then
least, yeah.
pick it back up.
Yeah.
It's a necessary step to then decide to pick
Exactly.
it back up.
Yeah.
But there's nothing about it that leads into it, right? So
Okay.
yeah.
Sure. But yeah, that's why I think this episode is interesting in that it's in a standalone kind of little just history kind of chapter episode, in that we just kind of go through a couple of years of Canute's, you know, ascension basically. But then it's okay, how does this you know, apply in the thematic sense to what's going on elsewhere? Oh, cool. Yeah. What is the make of a man? And it's a combination of two different things: their character and their usefulness. And that's something that I very much resonate with, that when we have a character that's been so broken down to the point that they're a slave.
Right. The only usefulness they have right now is for clearing trees.
Yeah. Do they even have the ability to have character? And I would say yes, Thorfinn absolutely does. And we saw that with the way that he responded to people attacking him. And I am a big fan that we have these iconic men in the story in very different places, all starting to act in their own specific ways that will eventually lead to them all coming back to each other.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Basically.
No, well, I don't have much more to say for this. This episode makes me very excited to see the next one, because we're probably going to be getting another dynamic shift. But
Yeah. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out my Persona 5 Royal Let's Play on Twitch right now. And yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.